na eyekotoni mabosume ne de so enwotwe finhyampinu ene aduonu enum pramo atoye mamu nyina akwaba eba ensem ahoro ya boabo no se premto bekase na awie ye de ebesumu eso efi UTV Ship House Abeka Junction enkran ene ye de kase eba asida wo makame hoye ye de ma this way chocolate drink yo hia hey ensu hie koko papa ena ye de aye afi your special ice ensu e odwaso nsu ye de papa eno ane ye nom ne ye sum ya hoho enso na special drinks nso eboni chidom flavors bebre ubenya grape kakra ubenya strawberry ubenya fantime orange ubenya malt wonya cola nso e de episo enmekwe ekremu ansa na best point savings and loans and best assurance nso ejina echi ejina pa ewo sika fm enmekwe adaro my den sam no emaw de wo ba betie ni ebi enie omampanyi John Dramani Mahama ese enefo ha aduo no edinkan e na memuo mu no de odinani esi so an Ghana enkabo mu mapa ewomo apiafo nkumankuma a womo edi womo djuma ekyerese womo wo okrase e wapoe mantam emo na sadie panyi bi a nani abri wadansi adwumadim epese wo hwimom nsase efi omo nsem no wo kase wani agye ho a na womo eboa omanfo mo abroba no enso de adesede eto aban ne mpanyimfo anim se wo mo emrem esanse akade e ma asetena ya akono na ekoyie no omo de abo mo etise de jonso abo akoko ensem no bebre eka we ho mamu akwa ba die mekenkan ni nyina ede amawo obahima afia hyerme ena mesommo yentie ensem no enchiemo omampanyi John Dramani Mahama eno ne Ghana fo edi nkita ho no ene wo ka se ennefo oha aduonu a edi nkan e wona memuomu die eniema na ni suso ene se obechechi Ghana biakoye ewom Ghana nkontabuo papa ewom ene Ghana pepepe ye ekoso eno ene ade a eda na komas.
My fellow citizens, this has been a comprehensive account of our actions in the first 120 days of my administration. We laid out a social contract with you, the people of Ghana, with specific promises for this critical initial period. Tonight, I'm pleased to report to you that we have fulfilled these promises. From forming a lean government and establishing a robust code of conduct to taking decisive action to scrap burdensome taxes, initiating inquiries into past wrongdoings, launching major job creation programs, tackling illegal mining, reviving our environment, promoting our tourism and export sector, streamlining scholarships, supporting vulnerable populations, and holding our security agencies accountable. The foundation for resetting Ghana and building the Ghana we want together is being laid with speed and determination. These actions are not merely check boxes on a list. They signify a fundamental shift in how government operates, with transparency, accountability, efficiency, and a profound sense of urgency for the well-being of every Ghanaian. Fellow citizens, I take my promises seriously, and my word is my bond. Although we've established a solid foundation in this first 120 days, considerable work remains on the journey to realize the Ghana we all want together. This journey requires the collective effort of all of us, and I'm profoundly grateful for the mandate you have given me and my government to lead this nation. Your trust is our most valued asset, and we'll continue to work tirelessly to deserve that trust. And so I call upon every Ghanaian in every city, town, and village, in every sector of our economy, across every political divide, to join hands with us. Let us continue to work hard together, united by one purpose and a shared vision, to overcome the challenges and build a brighter, more prosperous future for our beloved nation.
Omampanyi John Dramani Mahama edi atudwa se Minerals and Mining Act 2003 at 703 emma akonya emma omanfo bora ekwa ebentuom no mtu dade no obehwe ayense sanse de be ya sade no eto betumi echa.
Protecting our environment, especially from the threat of illegal mining, has been a strong commitment. We promise to ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves and roll out our Tree for Life and Blue Water initiatives to heal and sustainably harness our environment. In the first 120 days, we've taken decisive action through a 5-pronged strategy to overhaul and sanitize the mining sector. This includes regulatory reforms and strengthening the law enforcement, including joint task forces, arrests and seizures of mining equipment, stakeholder collaboration, reclamation of degraded lands. 7 out of 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed. Illegal miners have been flushed out of these forest reserves. Concerning the ban on mining in forest reserves, on March 20th, 2025, a legislative instrument, LI 2462, was presented to Parliament to amend the Environmental Protection Mining in Forest Reserves Regulation. This amendment removes the President's power to grant approval for mining in forest reserves. I plan also to amend the Minerals and Mining Act 2003, Act 703, to completely prohibit mining in forest reserves. This would effectively, meticulously, legally, and entirely ban mining in our forest reserves. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has launched the Blue Water Initiative to restore our water bodies in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment. This initiative aims to train and deploy blue water guards to monitor and protect critical water bodies and prevent further pollution. At the same time, experts are working to clean up our polluted rivers. The Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative was also launched on March 21st, 2025, to restore degraded lands and combat climate change. This project aims to plant over 20 million seedlings annually nationwide, including through the One Child Per Tree policy to inculcate environmental consciousness in our youths. By combining enforcement, policy reform, technology, and community engagement, we're on track to reclaim our environment and ensure responsible mining for future generations, achieving the expected outcomes of reduced illegal mining, cleaner water bodies, restored forests, and stronger governance.
Said ye be na aban be kwati aketa ahye dream enti no omampanyi ade asudwa se na ban na ebe paw badwa bi a wo mode omho fi amanyosem emu na wo maba be yenhwehwemu ade afa national cathedral adwumadi a aban dada no ehye ase no eho.
A cornerstone of our commitment to good governance and accountability is tackling corruption and eliminating waste. I promise to initiate inquiries and forensic audits into several critical matters of public interest. This war against corruption continues unabated. The Minister for Health is reviewing the Auditor General's report on the COVID-19 expenditures. After the review, the appropriate actions will be taken. The Sputnik V scandal is under investigation. The Minister for Finance has launched an inquiry into the collapse of indigenous banks and financial institutions. And make no mistakes, facts will be unearthed, culprits will be punished, and lessons will be learned. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition has commenced investigations into the PDS scandal. Deloitte and Touche is conducting an independent audit of the National Cathedral project. I expect their report by the end of this month. A number of officials have been invited and questioned concerning the 13th African Games. On April 30th, 2025, the Attorney General filed 11 charges against a former National Signals Bureau Director General and others for various offenses. Charges will also be filed in the Accra SkyTrain and the National Service Ghost Name scandals. The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Corruption will continue to receive complaints and reports regarding graft for onward transmission to the Attorney General, building on the success of the oral mechanism, which received over 2,000 complaints in just a few weeks. As promised, my commitment to fighting corruption is not limited to recovering loot from past appointees We will also ensure that our own appointees serve Ghanaians responsibly and are held to the highest standards of accountability.
Omampanyi ekasa de eno ochim say code of conduct awada ne di e dia man appointees no obehwe say ebeye adwuma pepepepe nti oyi ako a obefom no emra no ene obedi ama so twen ese na efata nso otimi e de ama.
Establishing a robust code of conduct. I have committed to establishing a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials to instill integrity and accountability from day one. Building on my previous efforts, we have reworked and finalized a significantly improved version of the Code of Conduct for government appointees. The comprehensive document launched last Monday addresses new areas including a prohibition on purchasing state property directly or indirectly, regulations regarding hampers, and clear monetary limits for official gifts. I've left my appointees in no doubt that I'll bring down the hammer swiftly and strongly if they breach any of these provisions.
Omampanyi Jondromani Mama say enchine nkanfo no say eden so no de obeka enefo oha aduonu baako e wona memu a edi nkan emu no waye niema ni titu enwumesua efa ebi ni National Consultative Conference a one mpanyifo mu kan bia ewom aye afia adusuafo mu gintete wo wo mafia edi kan osuapon mu no wo de om fees no ache wo mo ansa na ye nuan mo di dem de enso epi so nti waye ade pa.
Convening a National Consultative Conference on Education. I promise to convene a National Consultative Conference on Education to build consensus on the necessary improvements to our education sector. I'm glad to report that this promise has been fulfilled. Over 2,000 proposals were received, including a survey on free senior high school with 20,000 respondents. The report on the consultations will be ready by the end of May 2025. And will be made public. The extensive consultation was crucial to building a genuine national consensus for sustainable reform in our education sector. The no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions was a key promise to ease burden on families and expand access to higher education. My government has taken concrete steps to implement this. 452,940,012 Ghana cedis has been allocated for the payment of academic facility user fees for 156,294 first-year students in public tertiary institutions for the 2025 academic year. Get Fund has also been instructed to pay the fees directly to the tertiary institutions, ensuring timely disbursement. The No Fee Stress application portal has been developed and is now live for first-year students to register and authenticate their eligibility for this government funding.
Ghana Tourism Authority mpanyifoni abre ehwese akwansra dwumadie ebegina ne nan so won kran mantam emunisa enti emu mpanyifo akonsahwe wo gamanche Kentucky tekotru a otosum yeno ne nsira hwe ena so anase na hemfie a omne no ekobọ nkomode niema egu akwan so a ebeboa amadwumadie a esi wani so no abem.
This year's Home War, everything about it is with the Ministry of Tourism. We also believe that there are parts of Accra that has a very high tourism appeal. Our beaches, that's number one. Two, the monkey sanctuary at Osudoku. There is also this sculpture village in Adan, Usher Fort, James Fort, Christian Bock Castle. And we believe that these are highlights that if we are able to refurbish and put them in proper stead, we could draw a certain appeal and also raise revenue. So this year we'll give the Ministry of the Tourism Authority an office in the palace so that we can collaborate better. I've always said that Ghana, has the best continental chef in the whole Gulf of Guinea, because 200 nautical miles from the beach is sandy. We could have a Florida or Miami, or Barbados in Ghana. And I think that we need all partners on board, all stakeholders on board. We need to clean these beaches. And before Homo War, we are going to bring back Clean Homo War campaign. Cleaning Accra again, making Accra work again, with the Metropolitan Authority and the Coordinating Council. Single-use plastics, I have said that until we develop the will to stop its importation or its manufacturing, it would always be a menace to us. So that is what is disturbing our tourism appeal on our beaches.
You won't cry as I say, so dear. Your tourism activity be a one cry as I say here. You need to be collaborating here, man. I fair because at the end of the day, the youth in Accra, especially around the tourist sites, they need to be oriented. They need to be supported. And GTA is ready to reorient them, re-support them, and also rehabilitate some of the tourist sites. To say a tourist center, now you see a lighthouse, Jamestown, honum say, I basa, yes, so I basa because of being new wash so my into every time I be say, more this time, you be so more in all aspects. On only theme is about hunger. Yes, so we are concerned about sanitation. Into the sanitation in hunger, ebe bakon, na yeba be som, na homo wono aya di kese pa Panafest around the corner. Into a how we can incorporate some of our tourists into the homo na ayafe.
Yet wakasie so de ama ahwefo ye wo memu na ebabeto dwase esi Electricity Company of Ghana se wo containers bebra pem ne akire ayira ama ho nsem be ye deja na eno na eku a any African Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism ese osoafo be ye nsentrofo nhie mu bekeka ye ase bibi be pie fimu ani ekwe ase ayedin omuti ase a enyeye Executive Director Emma Ekwe eye Owura Emmanuel Cotton Opanyi UTV so ni mahai
Mpacho meji oso mechi atiefo nyina ewe
me ni mahwefo ni metiefo nyina eje oso dodo yedase ene obre Opanyi wadaro ma yenim se osoafo ebe ye ensentwofo nhyiemu ena nkaja omso mu ye nhwehwemu de se enim se agebre ti ade na mo pentema beka se asa mo nti bibia Ghana ayedin
Yo, me da say, on say democracy betum poa, say you enforce your law. By as organization, they only say, me say there are set of law for ordinary Ghanaians and another set of laws for the politicians. And to own say, if there are perception of corruption or name around that sector. Initially, we had press conferences bebre. And okay, say ECG container in some buy, now a very big issue across the country. To see, I can say, and here as Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism, you say, Sir ECG. Container scandal, a corporate malfeasance, and we share the way and the impunity at which Nema no be Koswa, it serves as a national security threat that undermines the very foundation of our economic institutions and by extension, your democratic foundation. And Tina, ye pese spotlight into science and same way now enter back to the media space so that we can compel government to act. For instance, who can say no almost 909 million Ghana cedis demurrage losses, and then almost expose a lot of procurement irregularities. As ye kasa say ano, obi anka ho hwe. The Yatini said there's some underhand dealing between the former government appointees and the current government. And Ushiasa ECG in some way, it will not take a rocket scientist for government to take the bold steps and bring the proprietors to book. Say Obi no Oye ECG managing director. Now, Yawra Honorable Afenyo Makin, not an chairman of the ECG board. And where the assembly Eko Drusia Obi and Kaunshi, because corruption no, and no Ghana for your cancer, undermining your economic development, and by extension our democracy. Into your person, Sabi, who your political appointee. Ubetimas ayua oman ajapadeɛ nyinaa minkasa ɔmo ayɛ o sɛbi na ubekɔ ho free na hwee nyɛ o ba mi no mayɛnkɔ hwea pen anaasɛ mayɛnya pickpocket mpe ubɛho sɛ ɔmo akyeɛ na ɔmo de akɔsi court na nsawam na ɔmo de ɛbɛkɔ nti if we can bring the political class to Buka, we feel say any moral right. Say you bet any ordinary Ghanaian say wadi for with the law. Na sebi you obe also or court because onu nation no now omu dida across so on. Until you per se you remind government. Aban we say your omu duty say omu protect state resources from external threats. No omu safeguard the same resources from internal misappropriation. There you know, I to say team A, any team B. Team A bese no mudi bikwa, net team B aba, yambu o maisa. And team best man penny say, almost silence is sickening. Ye pese enti the state of those investigations.
Orokuti wadama ebeye said die wo kan senka Ghana for beti die akwakosie. Na nefa bi yenhwe ni sei on say kobasa bambofo ye ensem nhwehwemu a omutumi ka say baabi wo wa ni kwan say omo pentem de brain anye sa ebe distract ya na ebe say omo hwehwemu ne fanti ade ne ye ma ban no benefit of the doubt to say e bia koso na ebre kakra na ebedi
the okay asan we by imagine no there was investigative committee in place me wa
sa pepepe
omo the reports by there were ministerial statements on the matter me wa what has happened to those because there were clear guidelines said there were allegations of corruption there were allegations of misappropriations and there were evidence ye ko hu bibia sa cables no ko NDA those almost savage here no ewahi nkrofo omuchi here no ewahi and we say in criminal jurisprudence no ulusi evidence no
okay
and once it is a criminal case the onus is on the state to prove beyond reasonable doubt say ampa nema we here until the government silence and the allegations we are hearing say the some of the former government appointees are doing deals with the current government, it gives currency and abai amayehu the ekosua perception it undermines the credibility of our institutions.
Me bacho me mo akokra na me di ja okwa me pese hu se atesem yese die nka ye mfa anya asem wana muso
mpacho say
here say yate say say nka no de ye nya evidence anka ye ntimi nyina so na mo Africa for Center for Counter Terrorism de mukrom.
But unfortunately in the democracy perception a hard because of the power of social media.
Okay.
Mitie na enye enukre na wan beka enukre na say sebi ube say obi di kwa And this is a serious national issue. Taking national security dimension. Okay, those days are for a whole 2 weeks. Now you can't easy yourself. So what has happened after the expose, the press conferences? You see from government steps are almost far to prosecute those people involved in all of this.
Orakuti yeda say enti eno mutu wana mo bi atro krata bi akwa na mo kan say ya mowie.
Debbie yedin sise bi to her say every quarter we will review all security issues in this country. American security issues. There are by anye there are by anya accountable for no. You're moving from press releases very soon to press conferences.
Okay.
To really show the seriousness of the issues. Because all of my no uamra, no enforcing bra. It undermines our institutions. And to me, feel say it's an opportunity for democracy. The ordinary Ghanaians struggling every day to make everyday end meets no. Any civil society organizations, religious bodies, say yenya anubakon. Now making sure say we put government on its toes. Say the effort say onye asomino, onye ne enforcing your laws.
Alright, man okuti UTV that say ewie yo. Openyam ne Bonkomwe Executive Director, Africa Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. Ora Emmanuel Kutin ono enna yene no etwetwe enkomwe. Yanko ensemfofo emwe yede mo kwade ayeko NPP headquarters yenya ntiese nsentwofo nhyiamudie bi ekoso ni nyina afa enura omampanyin se de ode no be kire Ghana for se ne for o aduoni nie waya ade nti niema ba ko mienu a wakeka bom ode eto omamfo anim no NPP for eye nsentwofo nhyiamu a wo bibi kan efa ho magbaron ma ha
ai ma me joso
bibi aboko ho
ya me adom bibi aboko
yentie o
yo Sana odi kan kai enra na omampeni John Dramani Mahama enya 120 days since oba abemu na MPP force so according to them so more version of what the 120 days mean to them, what is seen, what the reality is. The Osahine Alexander Fenyomakis ebe ma press conference obekasai na mo press conference leading say 120 bitter days of John Dramani Mahama. 120 bitter days of John Dramani Mahama. Now that is what say MPP on assessment of 120 days of John Dramani Mahama. Almost say John Dramani Mahama or promises through the 120 24-hour economic policy or promises to be Jumaye. But Ankobanasa, the movement say mass dismissals in the various departments and agencies. I don't want to say or saki kofokeke, maybe to say Ghana Health Service, maybe to say NADMO, maybe to say most of the ministries, directors of Muya Juman come experience no or saki omunina ama unemployment as I am maybe to say I can't say army generals were dismissing every yes sana Mampeni John Dramani Mahama some Obama promising inclusive government no and yes sana promise here they say exclusive government exclusive to only NDC apparatus and kwana ebetimi aba ban movie or kind of say army generals or Pamo will say no and so any army generals are still now more and come more experience now papa mbetimi da bo man no wasake omunina. Second issue also about say kind of say state-sponsored intimidation and witch hunting of political opponents. And also say and conform say opposition party no MPP more say be baby show me this tata ekomu fie ko tata ni ade no anya sa na mampani promise here bibi ni except from akwanso the bien except for Macquanso, but some of the control fear I invaded Honiadeno, Sadiano, a lawlessness. And almost also, and yet, dear, Mampany promise here within his 120 days, and no more castle bay, and you know, thirdly, almost some boss who say energy sector issues. They say no, coming out for send doom so bano. Apart from a 24-hour economy policy, about the talk one more. I say, and I'm coming up here, Juma, businesses, etiquette, the Juma, etiquette, plan for. I find energy sector issues, but energy minister, energy minister, we are only saying, Afenimaki, honorable Afenimaki, or Canon Sama, or Timono, or say energy minister, where are you? Energy minister, where are you? Was for a while now. On one tenant, energy sector challenges are across all mine, almost on one tenant. One of the challenges are a minor form within 120 days of Honorable His Excellency John Dramani Mahama government. Doom so, yes, who says a unity, but Bisano, and if you say yes, I know Muja or mine, yes, I know Muja or mine. So now, as I was a semi tossed nine so, Osahene Alexander Fonamaki, two Johnson, Lane government. Or promising John Dramani Mahama promises Obama lane government, but when your lane government, no, this is why I'm playing for presidential staffers. Uncle for any across, but Uncle for me and this before also call Jubilee House, one director of this, assistant director of this, a special aid for this, baby, and yeah, no, one penny John Dramani Mahama promises the lane government, no, and yeah, no, promises or some to us say. Economy news baby I say no a false narrative and nobody nam say and this for na see the Nigeria and this for na see the Nigeria and ya no credit and as see the na ho de na ekosoro and ya no credit or say internationally no shekra dollar no lots of trade war no dollar na ekosoro the same for and you dollar no send a trade across the world na about form in the dollar no so ni usage no about form and ya and this for and ama kind of say dollar no and as a cedi na ho de ekoso no enye this for bia na ye osan to aso kasafa galamsey also the government is losing the fight against galamsey badly because also Omanpeni John Dramani Mahama eba no o promises about galamsey de o ma be to asie but I say afa na mo nkofo ewewemu mo ese eye duma ni bi to galamsey ni bi according to them mo je say against a cost, then yet, or promises, or ban, you're going to be a war, mine, second, I'm saying, because I say across the country now, that I'm saying, I say, no, let me improve, or my penny John Dramani Mahama promises to other war, but I didn't know possible. It's your homogeneous, never be a parliament beer, and never a cost for homogeneous, some to me, no fight, they will stand as mighty minority and fight for the cause of Ghanaians. They will fight for the cause of Ghanaians. And some of what to do.
Magbaro never mo any ejimao. Yamani bofua osi enem ewo NPP headquarters ebra and central for shame de ekoso Magbaron ono e na ode ensem no ema na yey yemto akase no so ema arefo na appeal court te mofo ba ko e de atodwa se ensem bebrebe ye cases a etai ko pm e wa ya se ni bia de enti a yentumi ni ntem nyina ne se akade e beboa ama atemwo adwuma akoso no ebi ni ho e na be te mofo ba ko ensem adako ebe pm e wo court no ebu no kon enti otena se odi a e ha na hia na
one of the main objectives of the Act is the encouragement and promotion of local content in PPP projects. Government, as in the executive, remains the main provider of works and services, particularly infrastructure and related services. All these are funded from public funds. Monthly revenues generated from taxation and national resources. The generally inadequacy of public funds to finance needed public infrastructural services through public procurement requires an alternate approach to financing the delivery of public infrastructure and services. It is against this background that the construction of this courthouse by the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Efutu constituency, Honorable Alexander Afenimaki, given the limited courtroom facilities available currently in Winneba, is a very welcome timely addition and undoubtedly a breath of fresh air to our court infrastructure. The Judicial Service of Ghana is indeed very grateful for this shot in the arm attributable to the commendable efforts and contribution of the Honorable Member of Parliament to the cause of justice. It is a realization and representation of people's hopes and a progressive contribution affording another opportunity for the enforcement of people's rights. I would, however, do an Oliver twist and on behalf of the service, request that the effort and contribution should go beyond the provision of physical infrastructure and also include the provision or installation of digital systems that would greatly improve the efficiency of the services.
A circuit court judge, high court judge, the circuit court judge would come, the registrars, the bailiffs, administrative personnel. I welcome you to the Jahazi Jinjinazi enclave. Enjoy your stay here. This is your second home. First treat the facilities with due care and professionalism. Maintain it and keep it as your own. But not only that, begin looking for lands and begin making here indeed your second home by building a place of abode for yourselves. May this occasion renew our collective commitment to pursue development in all its dimensions. Ifutu has demonstrated that when leadership and community elders unite behind a clear vision, real and lasting progress is possible. We must continue in this spirit. There are schools to uplift, young people to mentor, jobs to create, and public services to strengthen. Government cannot do it alone. It takes a combined effort of the private sector, civil society, traditional leaders, and every citizen to play a part. And we should continue to play our part.
Yadikasie ekopiem kaswa ofako amane boy fi o eto dwa echese court akwa setena langat and 9 bi wadu om asem ehye yemfo mkosie to remand ene yadu om eko Jacob kubi mahai afa ma
Meje so mini aba
mete woni wachichi wutime nka
meje wonka pa
mesre ofa ensem ni nche mu nyina emaye
yo mini abuka se na wudi kan eka no sabefe elete obepie mu ewo ye kaso ofan court circuit court nkofo bakwa enan na mini wuka se de ya mo remind so mo ko da police for okokumu na otwimienu ni san enfa omombra na nkofo a yendi omo akotumi bakon edi di Patrick Indengu na ofofo oka ho so di Amidu na Amidu one na ono ne boafo na ya kire omoyi na eye Patrick Indengu so ono so ni ne boafo na so obia ene ni nadafo na ya kire omo na omoboni a omoye ni nyina ne se eye asase ho mansotwen na ekoso wo eye kaswa Millennium City na abra mansotwen ekoso no a police for ewo eye Millennium City ye ne se asenu ni nyina no ema obia enko eye asase no so kotum abra court bedi assembly wi anasa police for be ye hwehwemu no mahu di asase ne ye ne dia na opadane e de ama omo enti a police for the omo fisa dia na omo aye no enwa no isan se eye goma is homo no omo atemra anananu omo goma fete nananu omo wo eye ejese goma nsa tinu su nyina no omo de omo nsa chenkra ka ase a omo kire mu se ade a ye pe ne langat omo twom tintanton ewo eye Millennium City ene ne so nyina na eye Amidu ene eye Patrick Ndegwe nananu wo ho na police for tiremu a eje biada no moko de biada no moko ewo asase no so na eye nane nansa ene omunya ne ntie se eye Millennium City police station ne chipe entokwa bi ekofo ewo ho a police for no pie ekwohwe ya na eye Patrick Ndengu ene eye Amidu ene na omoko no so no na omoboafo mienu nso no egina nche omo so omoko ewi etire no omo nan ni nyina pra mu ye den pa yi inter police for no e for mu kopie mu e wo ye kaso aba ya resadia omo je ya sani wie no ene mu de mu kopie mu e wo eye kaso ofan court na bra mu de mu kodu court no ene court share ne say beya mo ye ta entokwa no court ate se ema obi enkosa asase no so mo akoso matomra de to su mienu manfo eti mantemu ho no sane ntokwa ene wo keka ho a eye ekoso wo mantemu ho ni no eno so matomra enti mo konkwode mo eye na wotu mienu eti no apolice fo no ensan fa omumbra na omundi omo atem obokasa awie ye no ena na ono ewo eye Millennium City ho mo tire mu se odi atida e de ma eye police fo mo Millennium City se omo ti asam no omo anda so amu kopie mu wo ho mo a omo ye ntem e ko ti omo a omo de omo akopie court enyankanye se okọ ti police fo no ko ti omo a na nka omo nim de ebesi police fo ko ntempo no na nkofo no omo pe from ho a na anu ye de pa nti we de oda atire adisede e sign ma eye DC fufura ye yi no ogoma ise the ADC that no I didn't cut that to home with them with such a shot no what they also know some weekna still a bear longer than no seminal a bit die a year one in pattern that the air now when you say and go from you know almost a year as a series war if you go more at it that's a some bar no be again almost a church of Gumafete also when somebody after that NMA a police for any court resort or my yenisa at the amount.
Our friend Memoako, Sanko me no Macompe from an assassin, your mamma dear, and our langas dimu and no Macompe from we.
Me no can say they mean to me threat. I think you wait there and I say a year wait there. I don't motor echo in the police for not say a more obia and for her. Then a bear as in the beba, almost to Ria. Now near my police for the year in the sun say, young car is here for ya. Diana and a Sojania and Casacata Popie war only any or no name for fronted. It took us I am look at the Sojaniba for a criminal, a Sabiano and a assembly a fotier. And to that, the net police for to pass it. And yet, the Umbama is to be a SU Millennium City, and I tell Zambia, into a Akobano, Amo Omenia Brepa year, Omoya in some new Shimu. The past Umbeche, not a Daniel Photo, a Millennium City on there, and Yadia, Omobeche Manafoto, Omo de Popo, Eman, and Anamunina, the water at Amobia. This is your cutting to whatever, Panina can't perform. Ma obi anko asase so se okoji sa digin fi no e ma ne fa ntokwa emba
awon fe mambo eni ejuma o ya mani bofo Jacob Kupi ene de amanebo yi ebae yento ensem no eso ye ko aboba no a juma o manfo ni dia eye se wo mokopo so no makwa yi enam na ewo commander edina egwafo ebrem potamo e wo mfimfim mantam no emu o manfo ne da wo mo enna akade ebeboa amwasetena akoyi no wo mo chese wo mo nibi wo sempanyifo wo mrem
aboba no hene eye na nakosa esandwa wodikan nana akasa wo de omade hiade atodwa nana esi wo gina ne manfo anemu e de atodwa sei enioma eboa ema nipa setena mu nsem eye kontembrantem so eyade ya abom seti abaya basic social amenity said ebeka na putoka semu no enti eba no nwumasua famu a infrastructure development eye educational infrastructure no eyade ya ebi ni omapam apomdia ya sabia nso abom se ekun eja na bia kura de yenka akwan atete apansam se kunchebe woto nsa de afra aban no ankorankora nyankopon ato nsem bi ankorankora nyuma eku awodo wo yado yema no somobrofo so eni nkronkro so se wo mmra meye o madoye na sabre kura ye ka se wo mangasa mpo kroman na keka wonsase a wo mu si chep compound se ne ebe ye akwansi dodo wo betwa ansa na wakọ baabi a yasabia wakwakwagya yarehwe ni nyina no etwo betimi etwa wo mo ensa ensu wo mo akire dware enti wo sere se aban no ene saafo nyina mmra meso o masene no mu ntimi nwe na mo ama apomde hwepa no enyi ne ti wo
from them support a yehia yedi abano in fact yehia kasa ye self help the pede ye initiate yen project na yetum ya kacha banda dem jumeji na ye nti yehia so bobi a obobo hen sisia no ya start yen chip compound with our own resources kakaka ye dey try there ye buy yen chip compound I hope that by close of the year no able to me ye Koni ni ejanan bia kra ye ni bi mpemfu na mofoma na oko free range wonpa no ye pede no so as a matter of urgency no ye try na no so ye dey yɛhwɛ kwana yɛbɔtum yɛdze agyanambea yɛdze aba abubia no nti yɛn roads na yɛn schools na yɛ problem nti ɔyɛ adze a ɔda menyu do dɛ mepɛ dɛ dɛm nyɛma no nyinaa yɛtakra nkakrakra nti yɛne aban mpanyimfo bɛhyia na yɛnye ho no so yɛakasa at least yɛn so yɛkyɛfa bi a ɔdɛ wɔdze ma abubia no yɛn so yɛbɛ fight for it na yɛn saka
adehye bi nso ɛne yɛn atwetwe nkɔmɔ
na ɛwɔ mu sɛ ɛkwan no deɛ ne kure no ɛnyɛ ba nyame adom ɔmo yɛ aman by previous government no ntumi nwie ma ɔmo ntumi anyɛ nti ɔmo yɛ gates no ba yɛ toto asrɛ sɛ MC wabɛyi ɔnabo zago wabɛyi yɛbɔ mpa yɛ sɛ wasate ne dwuma yɛ adeɛ ɔbɛbɔ mmɔden na ɔba abɛyɛ kwan ama ɛsrɛ aban so sɛ yɛkuro yi yɛhia mboa bebree wɔ kurom ha yɛhia mboa bebree wɔ kurom ha ɛsɛ yɛnya na yɛde boa youthfoɔ no titiri nti yɛsrɛ yɛne agyanandeɛ koraa wɔ kurom ha yɛne chief compound obi ho dodo na agye sɛ de ne kɔ kisi anaasɛ kafe didi anaasɛ yɛse kajima dɔbɔ ase ɛne commander junction nti ɛma ekuro no bebree atwerɛ ɔmo nkwa nti yɛsrɛ sɛ anka aban no bɛtwa n'ani abɛhwɛ kuro yi na bɛboa yɛn.
wohwɛ kaseɛ yi ɛwɔ United Television ɛso yɛwɔ ship house abɛka junction nkran yɛbɛgye nkratoɔ yɛba bongo difara agoprama so nsɛm